Hey guys, my name is Adam, and today I have another Rome Total War multiplayer battle replay to show you. This game, I am playing as the Macedonians, and then my opponent, I believe his name is General Rush or something similar, is playing as the Julii Romans. So, taking a look at my build, I have 5 sets of Royal Pikemen with gold upgrades. This is a very solid infantry line. In CWB rules, you can bring max 6 of the same unit, so I decided to opt out of 1 Royal Pikeman in exchange for getting a little bit better skirmishing component and cavalry component, and I think that worked out pretty well for me, which you will see. But then behind them I have 2 sets of Cretan archers with, I believe, silver bronze upgrades. Don't quote me on that, I don't exactly remember, but personally, I think this is the best upgrade system for archers. If you put any more than 3 upgrades into them, then I think you're overdoing it a little bit. The only time you would ever need that is if you charge these guys into melee a lot, which I try not to do. It sometimes happens, but these guys never win the game for me. I think that's the important thing to remember. Also, keep in mind that Cretan archers do have better range than other missile units. Behind them, I have 5 sets of Companion Cavalry with gold upgrades, which is a really powerful cav force, and the only reason I could afford this many upgrades on my cavalry is because I did not bring that extra Royal Pike unit, so that's always something to keep in mind. My opponent went for kind of a strange build. He did not bring any missiles, which isn't abnormal because at 15k, archers tend to, I guess, become worse. If you're going for anything under 15k, then you definitely want to bring a skirmishing component because there's less men on the field and therefore archers do a lot more damage. But when you get to 15k or higher, then missiles are not as important. But taking a look at his build, he has 6 sets of urban cohorts with silver upgrades. So I have 5 sets of Royal Pikemen with gold. Now, the problem is he outnumbers me. He does have a lot more pilla as well, so he can throw more spears at me, which will weaken my line a lot more. So I think this was a good choice by him, but I don't think it was worth sacrificing his missile component. I think that was a little bit of an iffy choice. Over here, he has 6 sets of Praetorian Cavalry, so he has more than me, but my upgrade advantage is certainly noticeable because he only has bronze upgrades. He's going to turn around here in a moment, but back there in the far field, he has 2 sets of Equites, which is a really crappy cav unit, but here the cav fight is beginning. I split off 1 unit of my Royal Pikemen, so keep in mind that this is definitely weakening my line, and at the same time this cav fight is going on, he's rushing up his urban cohorts, so definitely a wise choice. He has 6 urban cohorts in comparison to my 4 Royal Pikemen, so he can definitely surround me. In the meantime, though, his cavalry is starting to rout. I think that what my opponent really needed to do was try and engage my infantry a lot quicker, because as you can tell, all of his cavalry has routed at this point because of my upgrade advantage and the Royal Pikemen in the mix, and now he is starting to engage. Well, this is too little too late. His Equites have also routed because their morale is garbage, their melee capabilities are really crap, so now I'm going to completely outflank, and I'm going to do some hammer and anvil charges, which is certainly quite painful. As you can tell, these guys are going to get completely sandwiched, and they have no hope of living at that point. Urban cohorts are very powerful though, so they are going to stand and fight at least a little bit, but they are stuck in between a phalanx formation and cavalry charging them from the rear, and that cavalry is also pushing them farther into the phalanx, so that's going to cause their routing. And over here you can see that I have all of my cavalry coming in as well. I have my general over here who is now ready to support, but over here another hammer and anvil is going to hurt this unit quite badly. I have a bunch of cavalry chasing down the routing units, making sure they won't come back to the field. Over here he's charging down some of my archers, but I'm getting a ton of hammer and anvils that is causing his whole left flank to collapse, which is really bad for him. At this point, he's in a lot of trouble. All of his cavalry is routed. His his left flank rather has been completely crippled, so he's in big trouble. Also, with that charge, I actually killed his general, which was quite shocking, but that's going to lead to a mass rout for the most part. So, pretty unlucky by my opponent. His general unit still had 58 men left in it, so that is probably the luckiest general kill I could have gotten. I think I would have had this game anyways, but even still, that general charge was absolutely ridiculous. I don't think that should have happened. I think I got really lucky there, but nonetheless, it did happen. His last unit left is this set of Equites, and my cavalry should be able to finish them off. I don't actually know where his last unit is at this point. I'm like, okay, so where is he? I'm looking around the field. I see all routing units, and then I'm going to notice these guys as he charges into my archers. I don't mind that my Cretans started routing because they just got charged by essentially lancers, but at the same time, it's just kind of pathetic. So my companion cavalry is going to finish these guys off, and it's nice and easy. My opponent actually will admit defeat here in just a moment. He's not going to just run around and be annoying, which I definitely appreciate. So very good game to my opponent. I was definitely happy with the turnout of this game. I went for a pretty traditional build, but I had a couple variations that I think really worked for me. Because I sacrificed that 1 unit of Royal Pikemen, I was able to bring a more powerful cavalry force, and that extra cav power enabled me to destroy all 6 units of his Praetorian cavalry very quickly, and then launch my hammer and anvil strikes that would just mark his defeat. That was it at that point. Once I crippled his whole left flank, that was it. There was no way he was getting out of that. And that was just GG. It was pretty much a slaughter at the end of the day because he only killed about 250 men, whereas I ended up killing about 860. So you can tell by the screen that this was a pretty harsh victory, if I do say so myself. Taking a look at the battle statistics, let's take a look at who did the most damage. My cavalry, as you can tell, did the most damage by far. By far. They did a fantastic job. And I think that this is definitely something worth showing you guys. I think that the couple of variations I made really impacted this battle. I think I could have won with a very standard 6 Royal Pike and then 4 companion cavalry build, but I don't think that's what I really should have done at the end of the day. I'm happy that I made that slight variation because it really worked well for this game, and I think it's actually a interesting combination to verse Rome with. When you're versing a faction that has really powerful infantry and really powerful cavalry, if you can win a cav fight against very, very powerful Praetorian cavalry, and then do a bunch of hammer and anvils, you eliminate every single one of Rome's advantages. So it's always something to keep in mind. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed. Leave your comments down below on what you thought of the game, and I will see you in future videos.